Welcome to today's lecture of water resource engineering. Again, we are going to continue the soil-water relationship and water requirement for the crop. In last lectures, we have seen what is the water requirement of the crop and what are the basic terms like duty, delta, etc. So today we are going to continue with the evapotranspiration. So I am Mr. S. S. Saugule, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. Let's continue. Evapotranspiration. So, what is the transpiration? So, it is defined as the process by which water vapor escapes from the living plants, principally through the leaves, and enter into the atmosphere. Then, evapotranspiration. It is the sum of total water transported by the plants and that evaporated from adjoining soil. It is the total water loss from the cropped land due to evaporation from the adjoining soil and transpired by the plants. Potential evapotranspiration. It is the maximum evapotranspiration which occur if there is no shortage of water available in the soil of the catchment. So these are the few definitions regarding evapotranspiration. Now, what are the factors affecting these? So, first is the meteorological factors. So, the temperature, wind, and solar radiation. These are the some important factors. As the temperature is more, then this transpiration, same as the wind and solar radiation. Now, physiographic factors of the plants, depending upon the stomata nature, then stomata open in the daylight and closes at the dark lights. Then density of vegetation. Greater the vegetation density, greater will be the evapotranspiration. Then soil moisture conditions. Rate of evapotranspiration reduces as moisture in the soil reduces because the soil tend to keep the more moisture in it, so that's why it reduces. Then stage of the plant. Evapotranspiration is more in the seeding stage rather than ripening. Then adjoining land. Evapotranspiration is less when adjoining land is cropped. The surface of leaves. Evapotranspiration is less in the light colored leaves than dark colored leaves. Now the estimation of evapotranspiration by lazimeter. So a lazimeter is a special watertight tank 90 centimeter diameter and 180 centimeter deep. The plant grow in the lazimeter is same level as surrounding field. The sides are impervious and bottom is permeous connected to outlet pipe. Then the evapotranspiration is equal to the loss of water during the period of growth of plants. Lazimeter studies are approximate, time consuming and expensive because we need to keep this lazimeter up to entire that base period of the crop, so that's why these are time consuming and approximate because sometimes due to, as we have seen earlier, due to the climatic conditions and all other conditions, they their results are approximate and also they are expensive. The consumptive use of water. The consumptive use of water of crop for a crop is total quantity of water consumed by it for evaporation, transpiration, and metabolism. So this is the total use of water by the plant in evaporation, transpiration, and metabolism. This also includes the water consumed by accompanied weed growth, if any. So it is accompanied with weed growth if any weed is there. Because in nowadays we are using the small drip irrigation and all those things, so weed growth is less as compared to the earlier methods. So evapotranspiration and consumptive use are synonymous, so both are same. The factors which affect on consumptive use of water are evaporation, temperature, growing season, intensity of sunlight, wind velocity, nature of leaves of plants, etc. As we have seen earlier. The empirical method to determine the consumptive use are Blaney-Criddle method and Penman's method. So first is the Blaney-Criddle method. So it is developed. The Blaney-Criddle developed a formula for consumptive use, that is CU, by using temperature and daytime hours. If CU is the monthly consumptive use in centimeter, it is given by CU equals to K into F, where the K is monthly crop coefficient experimentally determined experimentally, and F is the monthly consumptive use factor given by the formula, which is F is equals to P by 14 into 1.8 T plus 32, where P is monthly percentage of bright sunshine daytime hours and T is the mean monthly temperature in degrees Celsius. The seasonal consumptive use of water for entire crop season is given by C equals to K into F, where K is seasonal crop coefficient determined experimentally and F is the seasonal consumptive use of water. Then second is the Penman's method. So Penman developed the theoretical equation based on energy balanced equation to compute the potential evapotranspiration, and its value is given by Et equals to A into H plus alpha E alpha Ea divided by A plus alpha, where Et is the evapotranspiration, it is in mm per day. Alpha is the psychometric constant, which is 0.49 the per degree Celsius, that is height of 0.49 height of mercury per degree Celsius. A is the slope of curve between saturated vapor pressure and temperature at mean air temperature, which is given in the table. Then EA is the drying power of air, which includes wind velocity and saturation deficit, and given by the relation EA equals to 0.002187 into bracket 160 plus U2 into bracket ES minus EA, where U2 is mean wind speed in kilometer per day measured 2 meter above the ground. ES is the saturation vapor pressure at mean air temperature in mm mercury, that is also given in table, and EA is the actual vapor pressure in the air in mm of again mercury equals to ES into RH, where RH is the relative humidity in percentage and H is the daily net radiation in of H2O given by the relation. So to add a few things in consumptive use of water. In fact, the consumptive use of water for a given crop at a given place may vary throughout the day, throughout the month, and throughout the crop period. Values of daily consumptive use or monthly consumptive use are generally determined for a given crop, and at a given place. The values of monthly consumptive use over the entire crop period are then used to determine the irrigation requirement of the crops. Now, the effective rainfall. The precipitation falling during the growing period of the crop that is available to meet the evapotranspiration needs of the crop is called as a effective rainfall. It does not include the precipitation lost through deep percolation below the root zone or water lost as the surface runoff. So only the water which is available for the plant to grow is considered in the effective rainfall. Then the consumptive irrigation requirement. The amount of irrigation water required in order to meet the need evapotranspiration needs of the crop during its full growth. It is therefore nothing but the consumptive use itself, but exclusive of effective precipitation, stored moisture, or groundwater. Now, the net irrigation requirement. It is the amount of irrigation water required in order to meet the evapotranspiration needs of the crop as well as other needs such as leaching. So, all these things are there in the consumptive use. Also, there are few points in order to explain the meteorological factor, like humidity, that is the the vapors present in the air. So if humidity of the atmosphere is more, evapotranspiration will be less, because during this process the evaporation water vapor move from the point of higher moisture content to the point of lower moisture content, and the rate of movement is governed by the difference of their moisture content or the moisture gradient existing in the air. So if the humidity as measured by the hygrometer, which is again the equipment to measure the humidity of air, is more, the evaporation will be less. The next is the wind velocity. The process of evaporation is also depend on the prevailing turbulence in the air. If the turbulence is more, or in other words, if the velocity of air in contact of water surface is more, the saturated film of air containing the water vapor will move easily, and the diffusion and dispersion of vapor will become easier, causing more evaporation and hence more evaporation losses. The next thing is the temperature. The process of evaporation also depends upon the temperature. If the temperature is more, the saturation vapor pressure increases and the evaporation increases. Thus, in summer season or in hot countries, evaporation will be more as compared to that of the winter season or in the cold countries. Then the next thing is atmospheric pressure. If the atmospheric pressure is more, naturally there will be a lesser evaporation. At higher altitudes, atmospheric pressure is less, hence evaporation should normally be higher. However, this is not the exactly so or not the exactly case because of decrease in temperature at higher altitudes, which reduces the evaporation. So these are few things I want to add for the meteorological factors. So this is all for today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have seen the consumptive use of water, evapotranspiration, the factors affecting these two, and the methods of calculation of this consumptive use of water. So this is for today's lecture, and today I want to declare that the chapter 1 from the D Batu syllabus is over. Thank you.